What is your American dream?
My American dream right now is for equality, especially for black women in America. Flint, Michigan hasn't had water in 4 years, and that should be something that is focused on now.
My American dream is getting out of student debt and making sure that no generation has to endure this crippling debt like the millennials have. I'm tired of it. I want to be able to own a home. That's my American dream.
I want to live in a place where everybody's equal. That's it. That's the promise of this country, is that we could all be equal, that nobody is above anybody else. That's my American dream.
The American dream is the everyone, regardless the race, the religion, the ideology, we can sit at the same tables and have the same opportunity to say, I'm a free man, I'm in the free world, and we have we deserve a better opportunity.
My American dream is to complete my education, meet as many people from as many different backgrounds as I can, and to eventually go back home and bring that knowledge to my small country and make people feel like they're mobile and they're able to do whatever they want, wherever they want, with no restrictions.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Well, Spar Bernstein has been nothing but great to me throughout my trials. I mean, it's 5 years into this car accident, and they never gave up on me, never. And in everything, they fought for me, and I am so proud to tell everyone, don't even wink for a moment. It's you, Spar Bernstein. My lawyer here, Mr. Barack, has been a cage animal. He wanted to go on trial, but thank God we settled out of court, and it was something that I'm very, very happy about. So everyone, I'm telling you, I'm not just making stories up. You have to use this law firm. Spar and Bernstein is the best, worldwide best.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The outcome of your divorce could affect you for the rest of your life. If you don't have the right attorney, you could literally be paid through the nose forever.
That's right, Brad. For example, did you know that half the money you put into your retirement during your marriage is up for grabs in your divorce? So a disagreement as to when your marriage exactly ended could cost you thousands of dollars from your hard-earned retirement fund. And let's say you bought a house together. Factors like who's paying the bills, who paid the down payment, and whether you're receiving rental income can all affect your settlement in huge ways.
If you're having family law issues, if you're having matrimonial issues, you need attorneys who are going to fight hard for you. Call the matrimonial department, the family law department, here at the law offices of Spar Bernstein.
This is an attorney advertisement. Prior results do not guarantee similar outcomes. Okay, we're back. And it's the Brad and Squeeze show. The last of its kind on 93.5. I have to rub that in.
The last
Of its kind.
of its kind. Maybe there'll be a different kind.
Well, there's only one Brad and Squeeze.
There's only one Brad Squeeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Maybe Squeezing Joe. Squeezing
but-
Joe.
squeezing who?
Mary. Samantha. Squeezing Samantha.
I'm not squeezing anyone.
No.
No. No.
My mic is on.
Your mic is on?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mine is on too.
Oh, my mic is not on. This is what I got to do. I got to do this.
Yeah.
I had nobody to dress me today. Patrice is out. Sick.
Sorry, grown man
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
not having someone
Yeah,
to
someone
dress
to
him.
dress
Welcome
me,
to the
yeah.
Brad and Squeeze Show. 93.5 FM listeners. The number is 1-800-529-5465. Give us a call right now. And Jeff Bossy, good for you.
Yeah, squeeze.
By the way,
one
Jeff
second.
Bossy, good for you, because you want to know what? Everyone is listening to Brad and this whole lambasting that he does every single day. Every opportunity that he gets to take a
Swipe.
No, I don't want to use the word swipe. A jab at me?
Yeah.
He does.
Well,
every opportunity.
Jeff Bossy said that his American dream, just so for the people on WVIP,
Is to see if Squeeze
Squeeze shows up on time.
Right. But
Right.
The irony of this whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, is when Brad chooses to be out, guess what? He's absent. There is no show. No one is lambasting him for that when he chooses to be out. When Brad chooses to take his vacation, Why is it I have to take my vacation when he takes his vacation? Nope. So, Jeff Bossy, good for you. You know what good for you means, right, Brad? Good for you.
Go.
Good. No, good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
I will get back.
GFY.
I will get Jeff
Yes.
Bossy. But once again, we're now ready to take your immigration questions. So call us, 1-800-529-5465, or place your questions on the Facebook page, Brad and Squeeze. Do remember that tomorrow it starts in the evening at 5:30 on the PM. And the Brad and Squeeze show will exclusively now be on Facebook, starting tomorrow at 5:30 p.m.
Correct.
For 2 solid hours. All right? So make sure you check that out. All right?
By the way, everybody wants us to have
Let me take a
party.
jab at Brad. I got to come in for just 2 hours. I got to come in for this 2-hour show. That's my jab at you, man. I had to come in for a 1-hour show today.
Yeah. Squeeze wanted to stay and broadcast from his studio, from home.
I can.
I know you
have
can.
all
You
the
have that
equipment.
ability.
Yes.
Right. And I said, Squeeze, the show is much better when we're together here.
No, I think you just like having me next to you.
And so
you
Squeeze,
like having someone to lambast
so
right
Squeeze,
there. Because I could sit here and do absolutely nothing, not even say a word, and he's happy with that.
So Squeeze walks in, and he looks at me and he says, I'm here for my 1-hour show. It's like he's going on the boat on Gilligan Island. I'm here for my 3-hour tour.
1-hour show.
Okay, so I had some choice words for him.
Yeah, some very choice words. Let me take out my juice here, man.
So that's what's going on. Meanwhile, it could be worse, Squeeze.
You know what? I
could be
realize they don't
worse.
put the camera on me when they're supposed to, but they put the camera on me when they're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's the way we do it here at the Brad.
The camera is only on Brad, the whole time. But then when we go to the SMG segment and I'm typing away, the camera's on me.
Yes, that's how we do it here at the Brad and Squeeze show.
I'm just busting balls.
That's how we do it. Squeeze is swiping at everybody.
I'm busting
I
balls,
want you to
man.
know, poor Brittany. She's the sweetest woman. Does our camera operator, and you're
You know what? I went back through all the show.
You're going after Brittany now.
And I
can't believe it.
calculated the percentage of time I'm actually on camera.
Let me say this then. If you actually did that, you have way too much time on your hands.
You want to know what the percentage?
Let me give you some more productive things to do with your life.
7.8%.
Let me give you some more productive things to do with your life. Maybe we should call it the Brad at 7% of Squeeze.
Exactly. That's it.
The Brad at 7% of Squeeze show coming to you live.
You need just for men.
I need more than just for men.
Okay.
I need a lot more than just for men, Squeeze.
You need die, period.
Die or I should die.
No, die.
You don't want me to die. Meanwhile,
what's happening in the?
Well, just some,
what do we have to
some
talk
stuff I kind of came across here. I'm obsessed with that. That the false nuclear.
Let me guess. You're going to talk about Donald Trump.
No. I'm obsessed with the false nuclear alert in Hawaii last month. And I keep thinking to myself, oh my God, can you imagine if you actually live there and you get this text message that everyone's going to die in the next 15 minutes? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, incoming missile, and everyone's freaking out. And apparently they claimed it was that there was a worker in the emergency management system in Hawaii who pressed the wrong button.
Right.
That wasn't really the case.
What was the case?
Okay. What happened is that they were testing their emergency management system.
Right.
And the man or woman who was testing the emergency management system told the day workers who pressed the button to send out the mass text, we're going to be testing this. The day workers didn't tell the night worker who presses the button that they're going to be testing this. So they go and do the test, and this poor night worker gets this test, incoming missile. So he goes back to whoever sends him the notification to go press the button. Are you serious? Now, they're testing it, so they're following yes, we are serious. And he goes back, he goes, are you sure you want me to do this? And they say yes. Now on one side of the phone, they're doing a test, a mock, if this was really an emergency. But this guy on the other side of the phone was never notified that this is a test. And he goes and he presses the button. Incoming, he thinks he's going to die. Everyone in Hawaii thinks they're going to die. It's mass chaos. Dogs and cats sleeping together. Nobody knew what to do, Squeeze. You know what movie that's from, Dogs and Cats Sleeping Together? Mass
Can I be
chaos?
a little bit cynical?
What?
If you're going to die, you're going to die. But here's what I'm saying.
You know what my father said, by the way?
What?
I said, what would you do if, like, you got a text message?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I'd go out on my balcony and I'd watch the missile come in, and that's it. He goes, what are you going to do? Where are you running?
Yeah. And same thing. I was in the elevator yesterday. Right.
Look at that. Missile alert in error. There is no threat. That was.
I was in the elevator yesterday, right?
Right.
So, you have, the elevators in my building, for a luxury building, is always having a problem.
Always having problems, right? You have no idea.
Always having problems.
Every time you get in the elevator, Squeeze doesn't know if he's going to actually make it or he's actually going to get out alive.
Or if I'm going to die.
Right.
So I was in the elevator. The guy's operating the elevator. I mean, we have 3 elevators, and only one was working, the one that carried the workers up, in the building.
Right.
Got in there, about 10 teenage kids, girls came on the elevator. Evidently, one of them live in a building, and
they're having a whole party.
They're having a whole party.
Okay, teenage girl party.
Right. And then there's another big dude in the elevator, and the guy operating the elevator. I get on.
Now, is it big dude, muscular guy, or big fat guy?
Big fat guy.
Big fat guy. All right. So this is what the elevator looks like.
You actually have 2 big fat guys, because the one operating is a big fat guy.
The big fat guy operating the elevator, another big fat guy, 10 teenage girls, and Squeeze walks in an elevator.
I walk in the
This
elevator.
is like the start of a joke.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's not a joke.
But it starts like a joke. Squeeze walks in an elevator with 10 teenage girls and a fat guy. One says to the other.
I walk in the elevator.
Uh-huh.
The elevator goes up 3 flights. Okay. The guy's pressing the button. Don't know what he's doing, and I'm looking at him like, what?
Right.
Anyway, the elevator stops, and then free fall, dropped 3 floors to the first floor. Just went. You can feel it. You know when you feel that in your stomach? It fell 3 floors.
And then the emergency brakes had to kick in.
Exactly. And then it stopped.
Was everybody screaming?
And everybody's knee
Was
bent.
everybody screaming?
All the girls are screaming. The 2 big fat dudes in the elevator
They had
screaming.
a heart attack.
Everybody is screaming. And I'm there.
Calm as a cucumber.
Calm as a cucumber. So everybody in the elevator like, what's with you?
Right.
How come you're not panicking and all of that? I'm like,
First of all, I'm Squeeze.
No, first of all, I said to them,
I'm Squeeze and I'm
I
indestructible.
said the address of the building I'm in. First of all, I am in X blah blah address building, being sarcastic.
Right.
And then second of all, if we're all gonna die, we're just gonna die. So it's
Why
a
am I
big deal.
gonna scream
Why
about
am I gonna get, you're gonna die? So what would you do if the missile was coming in?
I would run.
Missile, whichever you want to call it.
I would run, but I would end up running in circles until I died. I'm just going, ah! We have pictures.
You know what
actually.
I would do?
I don't know if we still have it.
I would get on a conference call with my kids.
Actually, that's very true. Actually,
That's what I would do.
Actually, I wouldn't be running in circles.
I would get on a conference call with my kids and say, hey, listen, guess what? We're gonna go to a much better place right now. So just chill out. Don't get upset.
I want to make sure that I get a last telephone call in with them. And we actually
just in case we end up in separate places.
Yeah, we actually have a video. I don't know if we can pull it up or not, but we actually have a video of when they first announced the missile coming in. That people were literally running into a store or running out of a store. Look at that. Where are they running to? What are they going to do by running? Where are you going? Missile's coming. You're dead. What is running going to do?
But you know what? They're actually selling bunkers now. You know you can buy a bunker.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I asked Jill to look up. I said, could this happen in New York? Can you imagine if this happened in New York? The mass chaos? Apparently, the episode in Hawaii revealed major differences in how the alerts are carried out from state to state. Every state does their own system. In places like Houston, Chicago, and New York City, tests and real alerts are not kept in the same drop-down menu. And at least one person's approval is required to send out an alert. There was no approval. It was just somebody called in the alert, and the guy goes, "Are you sure?" And they said yes, and he goes, "Okay, boom."
If there's a nuclear war, I'm going to Jamaica, man.
You won't make it in time. And meanwhile, this poor guy got arrested. I mean, got arrested, got fired from his job. So used to saying the word arrested. Got fired from his job.
Why?
Why did he get fired from his job?
Yeah.
because he sent out panic.
Yeah, but
It wasn't his fault.
But it wasn't his fault. That's a huge lawsuit right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you ask people to share, and let's get to
Excuse me.
Immigration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have realized that the shares are down. Is this a wire hanging in my back? See, you're right. I got the wire on wrong. By the way, folks, we're a very real show here.
By the way, Nadisha has a good idea. Nadisha Gooden.
And Nadisha, what's your idea?
She says on Facebook, Brad, just run behind the missile. that would be great if the missile just shoots in one area.
Yeah, but if you're running behind the missile,
if you run behind the missile,
then you're still going to get blown up.
You're going to get blown up because the missile goes like this.
You're going to be the first to really get it. You know. Anyway, by the way, folks, if you're on Facebook right now, we're going to ask you please to actually share. Okay. Share on your timeline, share with all of your friends, you know, and tell them to share also about the show. And don't forget, tomorrow at 5:30 p.m., that's when we're going to be doing the next edition of Brad and Squeeze exclusively on Facebook. You can also catch us on YouTube also. All right? Let's get to some calls,
a lot of people have a lot of theories on what to do. Mm-hmm. Lisa Bling Rose says they were running for training for the Olympics. Tamika Nelson says she would just get a drink with you, Squeeze, and that's what would happen.
If there's a what happens after a nuclear missile hits?
Depending on how big the explosive is in the nuclear missile, but probably there's a huge blast and a huge fire inferno. So it's not the actual missile hitting, it's the heat and the fire that emanates from it. I don't know how far it goes, but I think it would go really far. It would melt buildings. It would be like 9/11, where the buildings are collapsing. People in buildings, inside the buildings, would collapse. And then people directly there may just get burned to death before the buildings collapse. How far out it goes, I don't know. I'm not a nuclear warhead expert. All I know is that I wouldn't want to be around after, because those who survive will have nuclear fallout. In other words, the radiation goes up into the atmosphere, and then when it rains, the radiation goes back down and rains on you. And then you will have a slow death of cancer after you have survived this horrific event. And where's the hospital to cure you for the cancer? Doesn't exist. Where the doctors, they all died or have cancer themselves. How are they going to get I
see you put a lot of thought into this, Brad.
That's why you sit there and you don't run and you say,
you put a lot of thought into this.
You say, God, I'm coming to meet you. Okay, you don't want to be around after. I have given thought to this.
I can see.
Yes.
You have details. I never thought that far.
And meanwhile, I hate to bring in Donald Trump, but he's the one who's advocating. He's the one advocating a strike against Korea because they have even last night in his State of the Union I read, he advocated it again. It's scary. It's very, very scary, Squeeze.
Very. Well, anyway, we're here to do the Brad and Squeeze show.
Yes.
And we're going to be catching up with one of the other attorneys real soon. I don't know why this is on my desk here, you know. This is what happens when Patrice and Kim is out. Shannon is coming on later.
Correct.
One of my favorite
attorneys.
All right.
Let's go to Barry and Bethlehem.
You know what I like about your law firm?
Let's not go to Barry.
You know what I like about your law firm?
What do you like about my law firm?
Your law firm is like the United Nations.
It is the United Nations.
Yeah. You know, I really like that. And I know you probably did not go out and pick people from different ethnicities. You just picked them by how solid they were as an attorney.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Okay? And I know this for a fact because I practiced it myself. As I started off...
And it's mostly women, too.
Yes. I started off as a solo practitioner. I didn't have a lot of employees. I think I had... one or two employees that were left over from my grandfather, but nothing, okay? Small little law firm. Every time I hired people, I would go through the interview process and I hired whoever I thought was the best for that particular job. Didn't matter whether they were black, they were green, they were yellow, they were white, they were a woman,
you ever hired
they were
a yellow
man.
person?
I don't think there are yellow people.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just a purple, I'm being facetious. And it didn't matter their age. I just hired whoever I thought was the best for that particular job. And I've done it historically and consistently over my career. It's not like I did it for 1 year and then I didn't do it for another year. In New York City, maybe in other areas where it's not as ethnically diverse, maybe I could understand not having an ethnically diverse office. But in New York City, where it is so ethnically diverse, to not have an office that looks like Spar and Bernstein, somebody was doing something and hiring
would be doing something.
and hiring based on something other than who was the best for that job. I mean, sometimes you walk into offices, it's all white.
Yeah.
Sometimes you walk into offices, it's all black.
Right.
Okay? Sometimes you walk into offices, it's all Asian or all Hispanic. If you are really hiring colorblind and religious blind in New York City, you would end up like Spar and Bernstein. You would absolutely end up like that.
As we would say, true
So,
that.
so it's not like I went out. It's not like I went out and I woke up and I said, okay, as I hire, I got to make sure I got 3 black people, 2 Hispanics. It's just 1 Asian. It's not like I ever thought that process. The process was, I'm going to hire whoever's the best for the job. And you want to know what happens? We have an ethnically diverse group.
Does affirmative action still exist?
What do you mean?
They used to have this thing called affirmative. That's what they call it? Yeah, I think that's what they call it, affirmative action.
Affirmative action maybe for government jobs, but not private. Yeah.
Oh, they used to have that. But anyway, we can go to the call now.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Anything else?
No.
You want to talk about the peacock that got kicked off the United Airlines flight?
We can talk about the 1 hour I'm in to do the show.
Yeah. The 1 hour. The 1 hour. The hour's running up fast. Squeeze, you know, he has like one of those old taxi medallion things where he pushes the thing and then the time starts going. Can we talk to Barry in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah, good morning, Brad. Good morning, Squeeze. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Yeah.
Brad, I went to the interview on November 28th, and everything went very well. But they asked me, because I was married back home, they asked me for the divorce paper before the next decision. And
you went for an interview and they're asking you for a divorce paper. You were married previously?
Before, back home, I divorced.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Oh, West Africa, Guinea.
Okay, guess what? You saying you're divorced is not evidence of a divorce. You actually need to present a document. Do you have a document that says you're divorced? Where is it?
Yeah. Now they asked me for that. Then I sent it to them already. And,
okay, good.
But before that, they asked. I mean, my medical is supposed to expire on December 21st. But before they got that evidence, the proof of the divorce.
Well, your medical is fine because it was submitted on time, so you don't have to do it again.
They told me to do it again.
They told you to do it again? Wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so do it. Don't argue with them. You could sit there and argue with them and say, under the regulations, you shouldn't have to. But then they're going to look for some other reason to deny you. Okay? So you're better off just go do it again and not argue.
No, I did already.
Okay, good.
They give me the...
So what's the problem? Tell me what your question is. What's the problem?
Yeah, but the problem is I sent... When they approved the case already before they approved the case. And then, I was waiting for...
Is there a question in your future? What is your question?
My question is, like, when they approve you now, what is next?
Well, you haven't been approved. They have to review your divorce and make sure that's a real divorce. And they got to make sure that you're...
After that, they send me the approval letter.
They send you what was approved? Tell me what was approved.
They said my petition was approved.
Your I-130 petition was approved.
Yes.
But your adjustment of status was not approved. Those are 2 different things. So they approve that you're in a valid marriage, that you are properly divorced, okay, and they say it's a real, I assume this is a marriage case. They have not approved you for obtaining a green card. All they have approved you so far says, yes, you're in a bona fide marriage to a U.S. citizen. They still have to approve you for a green card, which is your medical has to be good, your fingerprints have to clear, you have to be a person of good moral character. I would assume all of that is true, and in the next few weeks, you will get a notice saying your adjustment was approved as well.
Okay.
Okay, so just hang in there. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Lisa in Queens. Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Squeeze. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I I would like to file
Hi.
for my daughter. We separated with one child. How do I go about it?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's asking me.
Yeah, she's asking.
Okay, I'm just
Why?
making
Because
sure.
she says. Because she says.
She
squeeze.
said hi, Squeeze. I thought she was asking you.
No, she just saying hi.
Okay.
People say hi to you and not say hi to me.
Okay, but she didn't say hello
I
to
said
me.
hi, Squeeze. I said hi, Squeeze.
That's right.
Yeah, but you're
But
asking Brad the
the person
question.
who's answering the question is Brad. Unless you want Squeeze to answer the question.
No, I don't answer the question.
Okay. So the answer is, she's a little confused. Who Squeeze is? Maybe she thinks I'm Squeeze.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's where the problem is. So,
You really look like.
I look like Squeeze.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
So, you're separated from your husband. You want to file for your daughter. It's your biological daughter?
Yes, my biological
Okay,
daughter.
how old is she?
She's in Jamaica.
How old is she?
She's 28.
And are you single? You married? I mean, are you a resident or you're a citizen? What's your story?
I'm a citizen here.
Okay, so file an I-130 visa petition for her. It has nothing to do with your separation or not. But unfortunately, she's going to wait about 7 years. That's what the wait is right now.
Oh, she will have to wait 7
Yeah.
years?
But do
Okay.
it. But Lisa, do it now. Do it now, because if Donald Trump has his way, he will not allow you to do it in the future. I'm serious. I'm not making a joke. All right?
Okay. I have another one who is married with one child also.
Right.
How do I go about that?
The same I-130. Oh, okay. So now I understand the question. It's your daughter is separated, not
Right.
you are separated.
No,
Okay.
not me.
She should get a divorce. File for her
Okay.
now. You're a citizen. File for her now, but you're filing for her in the married category, which is actually 15 years. But once she gets a divorce, you let immigration know she's divorced, and it'll speed up the case.
Okay, so
All right.
it would take about 15 years?
If she does not get a divorce. But once she gets a divorce, it'll be faster. What you don't want to do, listen to me, and it's important. You want to file for her now as a married woman. Do the divorce while her case is being processed as a married lady. Once the divorce happens, you notify immigration. They will change her category. They'll upgrade it. It'll make it go faster.
Okay. So what about the one that is married with the daughter,
That's
with
15
the
years.
child?
That's 15 years.
That's 15 years.
Yes.
Wow.
So much for chain migration.
Wow.
So much for filing for distant relatives. This is your daughter.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
Trump is like, oh, they're all filing for distant relatives, and it's chain migration. They're coming right away.
Wow, wow.
Sorry to
So
use
she
the
will
word
have
Trump
to
in my show,
divorce.
Squeeze, or our show.
Okay, so she will have to be divorced and to file for her now
No,
as a married woman.
no. You file for her as a
Okay.
married woman, and during the process, she gets divorced. Don't wait for her to get divorced in Jamaica and then file for her. A divorce in Jamaica takes over 2 years, and then you gotta wait
Yes,
two
I
more.
know.
And then you gotta wait 2 more years to file for her. File for her now as a
Okay.
married woman. Let her start the process of getting the divorce, and then you'll upgrade it once the divorce happens.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And if you have problems, come see me. Okay?
Yes, I will.
When
Thank
you come,
you.
ask to speak to the white Squeeze, not the black Squeeze.
The white
Okay,
The white
Squeeze.
Squeeze, yeah.
Okay, hold on one second.
Doesn't matter at Spar Bernstein anyway.
I want the white Squeeze. Can I get the white Squeeze,
Did you
please?
see the blood moon?
What?
Did you see the blood moon?
What's the blood moon?
There's a supermoon today.
I don't know what that means.
It's an eclipse, the lunar eclipse.
No, I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
That would be nice if we had a picture of it. We could have talked about that. I didn't know about it.
Yeah. Just.
I was too busy reading about the State of the Union.
Oh, really?
Obsessed with that. John in Patterson, New Jersey.
Has not been around for 150 years.
No. John,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling from New Jersey. My name is John.
Yes.
I'm from Ghana.
Uh-huh.
I just want to have a question. I'm married with my American woman for over 3 years now. I got my 10 years of residence, but our relationship has not been going good, and we're actually planning a divorce. But one thing I just want to know, is it possible for me
to apply for a citizen if I divorce her.
As long as you've had a green card for 5 years, yeah. You can get divorced. It's just your citizenship's going to wait a little longer. But you're separated anyway, so you just get the divorce. 5 years from the day you got your conditional card, not your 10-year card, you can file for your citizenship, whether you're divorced or not.
Yeah, because one of my friends, my co-worker, was telling me that I might have problem because they might want to investigate if there's anything wrong or something like that. That's why that's why I really want to know if it's not going to give me any problem.
They'll question you on the bona fides of your marriage and how you got your green card. You should expect that whether you're married or whether you're divorced.
Yeah.
And as long as it was a real marriage, you got nothing to worry about. Who cares what they do?
All right.
Hold on if you need help. All right. Want to find...
Just find social media.
Typhoid Mary Kim? TMK?
I'm not, hey, listen, I'm not using any adjectives. I'm not lambasting anyone.
Typhoid Mary. There she is.
Hello.
Typhoid Mary.
Thank you.
Infecting all of London in the 15th century with the Black Plague. Why'd they call it the Black Plague, by the way?
I'm not lambasting you, Kim.
Yeah.
You know, I know she's like, oh, I'm going on Skype right now. Turn off the TV. Turn off that. You know, let's put on the sick face.
Yeah. Right. She's perfectly fine because look how happy she is. She just kind of like threw some like.
You got to throw in a couple of sniffles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, do that. Yeah, touch the nose and all of that.
All right.
Just messing with you.
I want everybody to please leave your questions on Facebook.
And please share.
Yeah,
and please share.
That's right.
And Kim, please share.
That's right.
Right, please share.
Correct. And we have a video on how to share, so if we show that right now, please share with your friends and family. We're going to be...
I find this video so funny because everybody knows how to share.
I know, but it just reminds people to share. Because Typhoid Mary, straight from Harlem, is going to be asking...
Just a reminder, Kim, I would never call you any names.
She got everybody sick in this office. There's about 8 people sick with the flu, and it all emanated from Kim. Okay, and that's how. By the way, we're watching on our show right now how to share. So please share with your friends and family. And before we get to Typhoid Mary, who infected half of our office out sick today. All right, it was you. Don't be shaggy. It was you because you were the first one sick. So
Rosanna was out before that, and Lenny before her.
No, yeah, that was like 4 months ago. That wasn't the epidemic now. So before we get there, Squeeze, I want to talk about USA Credit Repair.
Oh.
Yes. The key to beautiful credit. I love Squeeze. Squeeze, I'd like to talk about USA Credit Repair.
They actually remember that.
Boy, you sound like a little like Santa Claus there.
I guess you got the letter from my attorney.
I did, and my attorney responded and said, page 21, if you read the last sentence, there is an option to get out of page 21 after 12 months. Mm-hmm. Since we started page 21 in January of 2017, and we are now at the end of January 2018, the option to get out of page 21 exists now. Ho, 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 ho!
That's like quite the loophole.
That is quite a loophole I negotiated in there. But we won't do that. We love USA Credit Repair. I wouldn't do that to those guys.
Notice I'm not commenting.
Yeah. 1-800-872. Let me tell the number. 1-800-872-7177. USA Credit Repair is the key to beautiful credit. If you call them right now, they will check your credit for absolutely free. They're going to check through your entire credit history. They're not just going to get on the phone and say, yeah, we'll get your credit up. They're going to actually do something before you even pay them 1 penny. They're going to run your credit. They're going to let you know what your credit score is. And they're going to review everything on your credit report that is causing you a problem to keep your score down. Every negative item. They're going to go through it with you. And then you're going to give them some information. Then they're going to give you some information back based on what you tell them. It's a real consultation. And then at that point, they're going to say, ma'am, sir, your credit's not good. We have a 90-day money-back guarantee. In 90 days, if you do A, B, C, and D, and it's not the same for everybody, but if you do A, B, C, and D, and let us dispute everything on this credit report, and we're going to dispute it from day one. We're not going to dispute it in 30 days or 60 days. We're going to dispute it right now. This is no layaway plan. Okay. If you allow us to do it, your credit is guaranteed to be up in 90 days of your money back. And the reason they do this guaranteed 90 days of money back because they know if you follow their protocol and they do what they need to do, they know they're going to get the credit up. They're not stupid business people. So call them right now if you need your credit up. It's 1-800-872-7177. That's 1-800-USA.
You do a good job, man.
I do a good job. Thank you. 1-800-USA-717. First compliment I got from him all of 2018. Thank you very much.
I was just about to say, like, that's the nicest thing I think
nicest thing he's ever said. Certainly in 2018. 2017, over Christmas, he had some nice things to say to me too. But in 2018, this is the first nice thing he said to me.
Let's get to your 5 minutes of fame, all right? Let's get to your 5 minutes of fame.
1-800-872.
Because you're joining Brad with a lambasting now, and you're sick.
1-800. Let me give out the number. Let me give out the number before we get to rapid fire. USA Credit Repair. Call them now. 1-800-872-7177. 1-800-USA-7177. Call them now. They will do a free consultation with you. They will let you know what problems are on your credit report. They will start disputing everything right away. And if you follow their protocols, guaranteed credit up in 90 days or your money back. Call them right now. 1-800-872-7177. 1-800-USA-7177. Or go to WeFixBadCredit.com.
There you go.
If you don't know what USA... After all of this Michigas, Kim, okay? Yes. After all of this, if you don't know what USA Credit Repair does, all you got to do is go to WeFixBadCredit.com. It's very self-explanatory. Very self-explanatory. Yep. All right, let's go. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Let's get those questions.
Our first question is from Amos and on YouTube, and Amos asks, we have 2 kids, 18 and 19, going...
Say that again? I lost you for a second. Go ahead.
Sorry, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
We have 2 kids, 18 and 19, who are going for an immigration interview in Trinidad in March. However, they were about 14 and 15, and they were turned down for a non-immigrant visa. Is that going to happen again?
No, if they're going for their immigrant interview, they should be fine as long as there was no misrepresentation when they were 14 and 15. The reason they were turned down when they were 14 and 15 is they didn't believe that they were going back to Trinidad to live. They weren't real. The embassy didn't believe that they were getting a visitor's visa. They were coming to visit and return home. Now, that's not an issue. They're going for a green card. They made an application that they've been approved for to come live in America. So unless there's some misrepresentation from previously, it's no issue. But please tell the truth.
Tanisha asks, if a person was married before and got a 2-year green card but never applied for the 10-year, now he's remarried and waiting for an interview, he has a work permit, is he going to have to reapply for another social security number, or can he continue?
Same social for life.
Dion says, when can you file for your citizenship if you're still married? Is it 3 years after you get the 2-year conditional or the 10-year green card?
It's 3 years from the conditional.
Carly says, how many vacation days does Squeeze have left? They seem unlimited.
I'm going to have to ask HR. How many vacation days does Squeeze have left?
I'm not an employee.
They seem unlimited.
Let me just disclaim this. I do not work for Spar
That
Bernstein.
is very true.
All right? I do not work for Spar Bernstein.
Squeeze does not work for
And if
Spar
there's anyone that take a lot of vacation days,
it's Kim.
Okay.
Kim.
Trust me, I'd rather be there.
Kim.
I would rather be there.
Kim, am I here all the time? And by the way, the time off is on page 27 of our contract. The one that I have the option to withdraw from at the end of January.
It's not like it's not like you have a withdrawal from many other things.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. What else you got, Kim?
That is so nice.
What else you got?
Princess says, can someone file their VAWA forms on their own, or do they need a lawyer?
You definitely need a lawyer.
Delano says, I was deported in 1998. Now I'm married and have a 10-year green card. I want to visit Jamaica, but the orange man is scaring me. What should I do?
If you have a green card, and when you got your green card, you were obviously, they understood that you were deported. You got your waivers or whatever. Orange man can't do anything to you. Go travel.
Anne asks, I really hope you can help me. I really want to go reapply for my visitor's visa. I have a 10-year and it expired in 2007. I reapplied again in October of 2015 and was denied. I didn't know that if you had an immigration petition pending, you wouldn't be granted a visitor's visa.
That is very true, because the reason is because you've shown intent to live in America.
To stay.
To stay.
So at that time when I went, I was accompanied by my boyfriend and our 7-year-old daughter who's being petitioned for by his mom. Could you give me some advice in obtaining a visitor's visa now?
What is the immigrant visa that you have filed? She needs to get a green card. She's not going to get the visitor's visa now because she's shown an intent to get her green card.
So her 18-year-old is in college and is a green card holder.
Yeah.
Would that help or hurt her at all?
No, but once that 18-year-old is 21 and is a citizen, they can file.
She can file.
Yeah. She needs a consultation.
Len asks, a friend of mine submitted his paperwork to remove the condition and they told him it was never received. It was sent overnight by the USPS. They gave him until the 23rd of February before deportation hearing. They told him about a Form 209. What is that?
What's a Form 209? I don't know.
What's a Form 209? That was the whole question.
Tell me his history again. Maybe I'll figure out. There's no.
So the friend submitted his paperwork to remove the conditions, but they told him it was never received. USPS said that they sent it. It was sent overnight. They've given him until February 23rd before his deportation hearing to remove the conditions.
So what? He's going to have a deportation hearing. He's going to have to go on it, and he's going to have to file a late application to remove the conditions of his permanent residence. Submit proof. It's an I-751. I have no idea what a 209 is. You submit the I-751 with a good excuse. Why am I filing this late? The reason you're filing this late is because I filed it before, UPS delivered it, and now immigration says they don't have it. But now that you're in removal, immigration's not going to accept it till you go to a judge. So you got to go to the judge and say, hey, judge, this is what happened. Here's the evidence, blah, 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 blah. Everything I just said, allow me to file the late application. The judge will say, yes, I want you out of my courtroom because it's one less case I got to deal with. They'll let you file a late application, and then you go through the process. You need a good lawyer because right now, you ain't doing it right. And I certainly don't know what a 209 is. There's no USCIS Form 209. I'm actually going to look it up right now. I was going
to say, maybe it's a post office form.
Maybe.
For like lost
It's possible.
something.
It's possible. Let's see. All USCIS forms. The 209 does not exist. There's a 290. Maybe he's talking about the 290, which is a notice of appeal. But there is no appeal on removing the conditions of your permanent residence. You do it before a judge. All right, let's do this, Kim. I know we have a lot of questions, but I want to get to Shannon.
Right.
I want to get to Shannon, who's standing by. We were talking earlier today about asylum and Convention Against Torture.
Yep.
And Shannon actually has a situation where, and she wants to come on and talk about it. She's one of our fantastic immigration attorneys, where the family thought that their situation was hopeless. Son was charged with an aggravated felony, and he was in deportation, spent years in jail. And it was an unfortunate incident what happened.
Right.
And certainly sad incident. But nevertheless, they thought he was going to be deported. And now he is here, still in the United States. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Shannon. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So tell us about this case.
Basically, unfortunately, in 2005, the client was basically fleeing from law enforcement. There was a police officer, according to the testimony, and also in court for criminal court, who happened to be harassing people in the Newark, New Jersey area.
And this was a white police officer and a black person fleeing, which is not unheard of in these days.
And this particular officer has actually harassed him in the past. And actually, just to let everyone know, the police officer, as a result of what happened, was demoted and then afterwards eventually lost his job. He was a sergeant, actually, in the police force.
Okay.
As a result of putting people's lives in danger. But He was basically trying to get him. There was no violations of law, basically, that the client happened. He just happened to go after him. My client in court also testified that he was wrong. He should have stopped when the officer told him to stop. He should not have fled. But there was no drugs, no nothing found on him. But as a result of him fleeing, he ends up getting into an accident and then ran over, and a child ended up dying who was 12 years old. He was convicted eventually. He was convicted in 2008. The event happened in 2005, but there was a trial.
And he went. He went to trial, and he spent, I guess, a decade. He's an aggravated felon, manslaughter. I would assume.
Interestingly enough, the death by no, it's death by auto. This is in Jersey. So death by auto, somewhat equivalent to manslaughter. There's no intent. So what I argued in court were several things. One is that he's a green card holder. So he's had a green card since he was 11 years old. He entered the United States on a green card.
Did his mother ever try to become a citizen before 18? Because that's usually the route we go. You know, that he's a citizen.
That was what I argued in court, because that was the issue. I argued for months, and we were waiting on a FOIA, basically a Freedom of Information Act, the records from the mother, because the mother did file before he turned 18. And so what I was arguing in court is that as a result of an excessive delay by USCIS, you know, he aged out, and that should not be the fault of the client.
So the mother must have filed when he was 16 or something.
The mother filed when he was 17, but unfortunately, when I got the FOIA back, which is basically a warning to everyone. When I got the FOIA back, the mom did file before he turned 18 at 17 years old, but the problem is that they sent it back to her because she basically didn't appropriately file it. And then when she sent it back, it was after. And so what I said to her and to the judge, you know, had an attorney did it, we would have done it appropriately.
Correct. And I just want to say two things. So just a little background. If the mother had become a citizen before the son turned 18, the son would have been an automatic U.S. citizen and would not have been in the deportation process. And, you know, and unfortunately the mother. So Shannon was blaming immigration for the delay in making her a citizen, but for the delay, this would have been. But the delay was caused by the mother filling out the forms.
So Shannon was just making a case.
Right. So what happened?
So normally we win those cases when there's been a delay by immigration, and they basically will say that each person is a U.S. citizen.
Right.
What ended up happening is that we argued that the death by auto was not an aggravated felony, which the judge agreed with, but basically stated that evading law enforcement was an aggravated felony.
So running from the police is an aggravated felony. Death by auto is not. It's crazy
because
how
he didn't have the intent.
Right. It's crazy how certain things that you would think are the aggravated felony. Here's a kid.
We
died.
went over that the other day.
Right. Kid died. Not an aggravated felony, which is a very good argument. Okay, but evading law enforcement, which is just literally running away from the cops, that prevents you from, as an 11-year-old, from ever living here in America again.
Right.
So what happened?
And so what we ended up doing is that the client is bisexual. And so we argued in court that
and where's he from?
Under the Jamaica.
Okay.
And we argued under the Convention Against Torture that he basically has a right to remain in the United States, because if he returns back to Jamaica, he will be tortured, and that the government plays a role in that based on the laws on the books.
Question for you, because we get this all the time. There's a difference between Convention Against Torture and asylum. We even had a call this morning where I kind of explained, I didn't get into as much detail as Shannon because we didn't have the time. Explain the difference, because those are two different things. In both instances, the only thing they have in common is both instances, I'm in danger if I go home. But what's the difference between Convention Against Torture and asylum?
There are many differences. I mean, asylum basically is, you know, to a certain extent discretionary, and there are statutory bars for asylum. So, for example, my client at this point, he's not eligible for asylum. Number one, he did not file within 1 year. That's one of the requirements. You have to file within 1 year of entering the United States. There are some exceptions to that, but that's the standard rule. Also, there's statutory bars. So certain criminal convictions basically bar you from actually getting asylum. So there's been arguments about possession of child pornography is one of them. If you basically committed any type of drugs, it's basically a statutory bar. So there are just so many different types of what would be constituted as a particular serious crime that would bar you from getting asylum, even though you may warrant it.
So then Convention Against Torture would be what?
Convention Against Torture, and I just want to go back for asylum. Asylum, basically, you have to show there's a well-founded fear of persecution. So it's persecution. So what I tell people in the case law shows, it's a 1 in 10 chance or percent chance that you're basically going to be persecuted if you go back. For Convention Against Torture, you have to show that you will be tortured if you go back. And also you have to show that the government is going to play a role in that. So basically either they're actually inflicting the harm or they're turning a blind eye, as I try to argue in court.
And what people have to understand in both applications, it's not I'm going back to a dangerous country.
Right.
There are many dangerous countries out there where the United States deports people every day. Just because bullets are flying over your head and you got to take cover doesn't make that an asylum claim or a Convention Against Torture claim. In both instances, although asylum is persecution and the other one is the government is targeting you or they're acquiescing to the targeting of you, meaning that they're turning a blind eye to it, in both cases, it's someone's going after you particularly.
Yes, and it's very important, and also you have to basically show that especially for asylum, that somebody in your particular situation has a reasonable fear of persecution if they go back, and that's for asylum also. A low standard for asylum, but an extremely high standard for Convention Against Torture. Extremely difficult to win.
So he couldn't win the asylum because of his aggravated felony. He was barred from it, and he was also barred from it, and he was also barred for it because he didn't apply within the first year of entering America.
Right, he's a green card holder. That was correct.
Right. So what did you do instead? The Convention Against Torture. Tell us how that panned out for him.
Basically, I filed an I-589. We went into court. We argued that, number one, in Jamaica, the law states that you can be incarcerated up to 10 years if they find out that you are gay. They will also publish your name for anyone that is basically arrested.
Not if they find out if you're caught in a gay act.
No.
Not if they find out.
If they find out you're gay, but on the book, you're saying in reality,
the Bulgari law says if you're caught in a homosexual act.
Right,
not if they find out.
I mean, there's been situations, Squeeze, where, and I mean, J-Flag, which is the organization that tries to support gays in Jamaica. So we've argued, because that actually has been brought up in court. That's a really good point. Listen, how do they find out? How can they actually basically criminalize this? How will they be able to find these individuals? But you have people in the community who may know of this and will basically go to the police and make allegations. The police are certain.
I saw that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's an act right there.
Right, and so basically at that point, that's how they're being followed. I mean, Jamaica is one of the most homophobic countries, according to Time Magazine, according to all these country condition reports. So it's very well known that this happens in Jamaica.
So ultimately, because we only have about 3 or 4 minutes, and I have the mother of this, we could go on forever, but I have the mother of this client on the phone as well. Eventually, Shannon was able to prove all of this, and despite everything that happened, he was able to get Convention Against Torture. Doesn't give him his green card, it just allows him to live here.
And the other issue, I just want to point out, even though the judge granted, they refused to let him out of detention. They said that he was a danger to society. So now the family was really believed in us and basically asked what can be done, and we were going to file a habeas corpus. There's certain in federal court, in district court. So there's certain steps. After the 90-day custody review, I filed a report with immigration and said, release the client. He's not a danger to society. He's seeking therapy once he gets out. He has a job when he gets out. He's going to mom and his 2 children when he gets out, and he cannot be returned anywhere. And so they let him out a week after I filed that.
And when did this happen? When did this happen?
The crime or the actual habeas?
Actual habeas that he got out.
This was basically the end of last year.
Okay, wonderful. Fantastic. We only have about a minute. I have the mother of this son on. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello there. How are you?
All right, Squeeze, you have any questions for this young mother or older mother? I don't know who she is, but...
How do you feel about the fact that Shannon did an excellent job in handling the case with your son?
Well, I'm happy and I'm blessed, and I thank Shannon so much for the job. She did a very great job, and I'm grateful. I'm so thankful.
Did you think your son was ever going to have a chance?
Yes, He's here.
Well, I assume no. But before you came to Shannon here at Spar Bernstein, I assume you went to other lawyers, and maybe you didn't. Did you ever think in your head that your son was going to win this case?
No, I never think that. I went places before, and I never think that until when I came to Brad, and Brad said yes, he will take up the case. And then I
handed it to Shannon, who did a wonderful job on behalf of Spar Bernstein. Yeah.
And I thank her for that. I thank her so much.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad it worked out for your son, Shannon.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. We only have about 45 seconds to go. So we're going to put
Great job,
you on
Shannon,
hold.
as usual.
Mother of the
Thank
client.
you.
She doesn't want to let her name out, so she's just mother of the client.
Right.
All right. Thank you very much, mother of the
welcome.
client.
You're blessed.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Blessings. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Shannon. Fantastic job.
Thank you. Have
Fantastic
a great day.
job.
Thank
Solid
you.
and excellent job.
Yeah.
Right there from Shannon right here at the law offices of Spar Bernstein. And that's the reason why we say to people out there, call the number 1-800-529-5465. Book your appointment, set your appointment, come in, see an attorney. You may have gone to other attorneys, other people, but listen, you really haven't gone to a true attorney until you come to Spar Bernstein. And I can tell you that. You need to see the man. All right?
And of course, this is our last afternoon show on Facebook. We will be back live on Facebook tomorrow, Squeeze.
This is our last afternoon show on 93.5 FM.
Correct.
Right.
We will be back live on Facebook, God willing, unless there's a missile attack on New York City. 5:30 to 7:30 tomorrow night. Catch us live, 2 straight hours, 5:30 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you tomorrow.
The proceeding was informational only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar Bernstein Law Firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easily remembered, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar Bernstein located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465.